Okay, so moving on. Now, let's say because the YCJA is not aimed towards punishing people as it is aimed more towards rehabilitating, fixing, and reintegrating people, there are extrajudicial measures. So, like let's say, we don't need to talk about it. Okay, I'm not going to mention it because we're recording.
Mention it.
No.
Talk about it.
Let's say you do, I don't know, let's say you vandalize school property. You spray paint outside the school. Mr. Kawaj is the worst ever. Okay? And it's your first offense, and maybe you feel a little upset because I gave you a bad mark on your written assignment, right? And you feel a little justified in acting out, lashing out. I don't know. Maybe they give you a solution that is outside the court system. So maybe Constable Muzz comes in here and he picks you up by your collar. No, he wouldn't do that. Okay, maybe Constable Muzz talks to you, right? Maybe they pin you into a corner and put the dog on you. He wouldn't do that either, okay? So they'll get a police officer to come and talk to you, discuss with you. Maybe they go to your house. Maybe they call you, right? Maybe they give you a bit of a warning, a caution, potentially give you a fine, right? And they're basically trying to deter you from continuing down your path, right? The level of consequence is getting higher and higher, depending upon the severity of the crime and the regularity of it, right? So let's say okay, I gave you back your assignment and you got like a 2 out of 10 because, maybe you didn't write anything, so you spray paint all over the school. Mr. Kawaj just sucks. And then the next assignment goes by and you didn't learn your lesson and you just hand in 2 sentences and I give you a 1 out of 10, right? And then maybe you write something like Mr. Kawaj is a piece of, right? And so maybe they need to up the consequence. They go from a warning to some sort of caution, tell you like, hey, if you spray paint this school again, there's going to be a degree of punishment, right? Maybe a program. Maybe they say community service, 10 hours, 15 hours, 25 hours, 100 hours, because it's Mr. Kawaja. Why would you say something like that about me? Okay. Next, they go to a crown caution, which is crown represents the court, the municipal, the court system. That's the crown. And so maybe the court sends you a letter. A judge sends you a letter. Hey, if you keep doing this, bad things are going to start happening, right? Depending on the severity of the crime and the thing. Okay? Now, maybe you're writing Mr. Kawaj just sucks because you have alcohol and drug issues. Okay, and so they send you to a treatment program. Maybe you need counseling because why would you hate me? Come on, kids. So rude, right? Maybe you need mental health program, right? There are programs given to youth that might not necessarily be extended to an adult. Okay, so if you're an adult, if one of my 18 plus students, 18 years and older students, spray paints on the school, Mr. Kawaj just sucks, maybe they just give him a $500 fine and 25 hours community service. First things first, because that person is an adult. They can be tried as an adult. Okay. Maybe there's some sort of justice committee. So those of you who read Spirit Bear, Circle of Justice could be something like that. Although I don't know how much they do it for non-Indigenous people in Canada. Quite frankly, I think it's not very common. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of welfare program, some recreation programs. Maybe the idea is that, hey, this person doesn't have a good level of social skills. And maybe they don't know how to properly communicate with their peers. And so one of the better things we could do is put them into a recreation program. Maybe you put them on a team. Maybe you put them in an environment where they get to learn how to be social and learn how to properly interact. Because maybe when they were a child, their parents locked them in a broom closet all day because they didn't want to parent them. If you don't think that happens, it does. Sometimes funny to think of, but it truly is sad, right? And so maybe the problem isn't that this person's committing crimes. Maybe the problem is because they don't have the necessary skills to participate in society properly. Right? Like all of you have to learn how to properly speak to one another, how to cooperate, how to communicate. You have to learn, how aggressive you can or can't be, when to stand up for yourself and when to back down. You have to learn these skills, and if you don't have those skills, if you don't know how to interact with your peers in your environment, quite frankly, you're screwed. If you're very antisocial, life will be very hard for you because people in your peer circle, in your age group, will ostracize you. They will kick you out from your social circle because you don't know how to properly engage in play. Right? That's kind of most of what social interaction is. So, grade 9s, let's look at some of the measures that occur, outside of the justice or outside of the court. Let's say you are recommended to do some sort of program. I mean, there are some conditions, right? You actually have to acknowledge that you did the crime. Okay, so admit to it. Say, yes, my name is. What's a good name for a hooligan, a delinquent? What's that? My name is Billy Bob, and I admit to spray painting this school. I admit to saying that Mr. Kawaja sucks, and I admit I did that because he gave me a terrible mark. Okay, Billy Bob, you admitted to the crime. Okay, we're going to refer you to a community service program. We're going to make you do 25 hours of community service, and that might be helping out at a soup kitchen. That might be volunteering somewhere volunteering at a church or whatever. Maybe you come here every Sunday for 4 weeks and you do some odd jobs around the school. You actually help out, right? Okay, but let's say you're not willing to participate. All right, buddy, prison's over there. So they can always, if you admit to the crime but you refuse to participate, they can always take other measures. They can put you in juvenile detention. You can go to a school, in a little prison school for kids. Right? These things are possibilities. Okay. You will have to follow specific rules and conditions. Now, if you're an adult, they call that person who supervises you a probation officer. You can't break the rules of your probation, otherwise they'll put you back in jail. Right? So something for an adult that might look like, hey, Billy Bob, don't go back to Christ the King School and interact with Mr. Kawaja. That's that's violating your parole, right? Violating those conditions. Billy Bob, don't go and be a scumbag at the LRC. That's violating your parole, the conditions of your freedom, right? And you will have somebody assigned to you, to supervise you, to babysit you, dare I say. So, here are some options. Maybe you got to return property. Maybe you got to do community work. We already talked about that. Now, I don't want an essay or a poster from you, Billy Bob. I want personal service. Okay, if you wrote all over the school spray paint and Mr. Kawaja sucks, I don't know, man, wash my car, vacuum it, maybe give me a foot massage, my feet hurt from standing up all day. Better yet, do my dry cleaning, man. You see my shirt yesterday, so many wrinkles, holy, please do my dry cleaning, for the next 6 weeks. Maybe I recommend you to a youth justice committee and give you a supervisor. So I gave you a babysitter because you're a baby. You don't know how to behave, right? Maybe there are some Aboriginal activities, spiritual activities to make you feel better on the inside, right? The better you feel on the inside, the better you behave on the outside. Victim reconciliation program. So maybe that person who ran your dog or cat over or your goldfish, maybe you have a sit-down session with them and you talked about them. Why were you driving so fast in the neighborhood? Why did you hit my dog and keep going? Why did you put the car in reverse and then run the dog over again? Why would you do such a thing?
Make them get hard.
Hey, there you go, right? That's what Jesus said. Love your enemy,
Never mind.
Well, not that Jesus said it, you don't want to do it, eh?
No, I'm talking about.
Maybe you got to make a donation to charity. Hey, you destroyed my dream car. I put 10 grand into it, but you know what? Thank you. I had a problem behind the wheel. You know, just last week I was speeding through a neighborhood and I ran over a cat. Right? So thank you for hitting my car, Billy Bob. Instead of paying me money to get me a new car that's really fast, you know, just give that money to charity, and I will start a new life of driving slow and not running over cats. For the camera's sake, that's all like fake. I didn't run over a cat. Okay. It actually hit my tire. I'm joking. I'm joking. You're looking at me like I'm telling the truth.
Well, my cat's missing right now, so.
Well then, Whiskers is gone. Okay, that's it for this class.